Sorry about the light. Welcome to my page of historical documents. I'm not as passionate as I once was maybe 20 years ago when it comes to politics. For the most part, I'm just an armchair quarterback, like many other political junkies. And the things I do is I try to keep abreast about what the Constitution is. I did a series of reading the Constitution, and for the most part, the days of the United States democracy is pretty much over. Why? The answer is very simple. You can go to the website of project2025.org. It lays everything out of what day one, 180 days, the fourth pillar, and on and on and on about diluting the Constitution and circumventing the will of the American people are. I don't think for 1 minute the Democrats are going to win majority in the House or in the Senate. Why? Because there's many laws on the books in many states, like the state of Texas, that want to curtail the voting process to have a majority white minority rule. And pretty much what Project 2025 is a book about superseding everything about the Constitution by giving a lot of power in the executive order. So the balance of power shifts from an even keel Congress, executive, and judicial branch by giving much more power to the executive branch. This is a dream come true. And it's this close of being implemented. If not already. I went through the website, and you have to do it for yourselves. I'm not going to do it for you. The reason we don't want you to do this for yourself is because it's your responsibility to protect your rights. I can't do it for you. I had to do it for myself. And every American is just busy with trying to take care of their families. So they use the media to distract at the end of the day. And dinner discussions are about how your day went, how your jobs went, uh, doctor's appointments, funerals, weddings, the whole 9 years. And rightfully, it should be that way. And that's the right of America. That's sort of like ingrained in our culture. It is to be family oriented. It is to be to have somebody do the thinking for us when it comes to issues like this. And lo and behold, you got 3 generations that are looking at the boomers saying this is their fucking fault. And it is the fault of the boomers. I blame them for directly responsible for this. They got everything handed to them back in the FDR days. By the 1960s and early 1970s, a shift in the political landscape has changed so that Americans hate government. And even today, 50 years in the making, Americans are still very illiterate to what's really truly happening. The only thing that is sort of like shifted the balance to the left is the internet. And one of the chances that some of the freedoms that you enjoy dearly are going to shift to having the internet censored, having political commentary censored, for the left. The voice be gone. You get this one set of right-leaning ideas dictating the policies over every American citizen. Except for the 1/10 of 1%. America views strength over weakness 90% of the time. Biden should have stepped down 1 year ago from ever seeking re-election. But one thing the Democratic Party does very well is not to put their business out there, or work behind the scenes and actually do a good job of governing. That's one good thing about them. This document, I'm not going to explain it to you, sort of dismantles the pillars everything that Congress does. It pretty much kind of neutralizes them. And it's just far to the judicial and executive branch. They work hand in hand with each other, leaving Congress hanging out to dry. Why? Because we allowed it to happen. Right now, Mitch McConnell is just shitting bricks because he created a mess that a monster. He orchestrated everything in both Congress and in the Senate on who goes into the Supreme Court. And one of the things that the Democrats did once Trump got out of office was start to restack positions in the federal court systems on the district and appellate levels. The Supreme Court, by far, is the most corrupt institution in America. Congress is sort of like second. The executive branch is like dead last. But the grift is still there. Everybody says everything they do is for the greater good, and I think that's a fucking bunch of bullshit. Nobody has the balls to have any common sense or even try to exercise any common sense inside of Congress. Right now, we're waiting for the other shoe to drop. There'd be a full-scale invasions of the West Bank and Gaza Strip to eliminate any portions of any Palestinians at all and give everything that Netanyahu wants. Now he's expanding the war to the Hezbollah and expanding the war to Iran. Gosh, this is a fucking disaster. I just hope I'm wrong. I wish I was wrong. The thing about Donald Trump is no matter what he says or what he does, it's a well-oiled machine organized and disguised by his idiocy. So it'd be like, sorry, it's allergy season. The only thing I can see really happening is that corporate America distances themselves away from Project 2025. When they start to do something like that, they distance themselves from Trump. What's going to be the succession after Trump? Vance? What's going to end up happening once he dies? That's the question that nobody's got the will to answer. Now, he's going to become 80 pretty soon. Is he going to give it to his family? This is a shit show, guys. A total, complete shit show. This idea of somebody else doing the thinking for them, it can't be over. You could have eliminated poverty. You could have eliminated homelessness. But the political will to do that means this thing about democracy is not pretty. It still skewers to the right. Our Constitution still skewers not to the people, but it caters to the 1% who understands the very fabric of the Constitution much better than the common American. Why do you think public schools in states have been, especially in democratic leading states, been pushing for civics to be top priority in the classrooms? The idea is to get students involved at a young age to understand how valuable the right of voting really is. Public education, as we know, is possibly going to be screwed. The one thing I do agree with is the elimination of the Department of Education altogether. Because anything about the Department of Education has nothing but been trouble since the Carter administration. It has been just one where the states do succeed in financing education is that once the money is available, they do fund states that prioritize education over infrastructure, over health, over national defense, over law enforcement, is people having a balance in education and have a firm, solid, rooted foundation in the pillars and U.S. civics and in U.S. history and state history, local history, and if you by God you're in that situation to understand that or in a position to be in that situation where you're able to learn the Constitution, learn our U.S. history, learn how government works. You can just go anywhere in the political arena. A lot of people don't have the will to do that because, quite frankly, you have got to be willing to put yourself out there to stand up for what you believe in. And guess what? The right has already told everybody who they really truly are, and yet we fall hook, line, and sinker to their baloney. Well, this is not going to happen. Those rights are not going to be taken away. And next thing you know, that right is taken away from you. Was it Ken Paxton, the district attorney of Texas? Someone who's licensed to practice law should have been revoked a long time ago for securities fraud. Wants to take every single Texan's right to vote away from them. What does Texas got to do with it? Between the state of Texas and Florida, they have the blueprint of what we're going to see happen in America in the next 4 years. I don't care what they say in the news. But as I look into the project 2025 manifest, that's what it is. It's a manifesto. It pretty much, that, like I said, dilutes everything. It's just the power to the executive branch. And I was reading through little policies, scrolling one right after another, and things that they want to get rid of. And there's a lot of programs they want to get over there, very popular with the American people. They want to get rid of. And I can't say what they are. You got to look at it yourself. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's www.project2025.org. It's a free website. It's free right now. But let alone, I hope I'm wrong, let alone that if Trump doesn't get elected, which he will possibly be elected into the presidency. I don't care what they say. I don't care what the polls say. I know the thoughts and attitudes of Americans. And the thought is, if it's well thought out, if it goes against every inkling of the fabric of American society, even if it's against that, Americans value power over process. They'd like to have a figurehead to worship. 47 presidents. They're just the figurehead of the fabric of their time period. That's what the president is. What Kamala said at the debates is totally true. Americans are not ready for the truth. I don't care if Trump bad. I don't really care if he spends as much time in Mar-a-Lago golfing. In the next 5 weeks, the rhetoric and the ugly ads are going to be as dirty and gut punching as ever before. And I do think the Democrats have underestimated the Republican Party so much. That Republicans will dig deep, and trust themselves into lies. And still say it's the truth. But where's the people? In the next debate, the vice presidential debate, will that be the deciding factor? I don't think it is. Nick Walz, or Tim Walz, or whatever his name is, Minnesota is sort of a microcosm of what American democracy should be. And some of the programs that he's implemented in the state of Minnesota, if he doesn't win, I'm willing to, if there is a democracy still left in 2028, he's become your front runner. In 2028. And it won't be Kamala Harris. No matter how hard or how they'll try to push Kamala Harris, those two will actually butt heads in 2028. And I think Tim Walz got the goods. He's got the stand up. He's got the political will to stand up. Bernie had his chance, but he's also understands the political ramifications. I still don't understand why Joe Biden became president. I still don't. It should have been Bernie Sanders. But Bernie Sanders has proved working with Congress, trying to get something done, was the way to go. And his butt got stopped in 2020, 2021. I can't tell you what's going to happen when Trump gets elected. But I'll tell you one thing. Everything that you hold near and dear to your heart in American democracy could be eliminated for good. I'm sounding this alarm. I'm keeping this track for when I die. They can look at this and say, hey, Chris was right on this subject, or Chris was wrong on this. And my political standing will always lean towards the left. It will always love the ability that we all need to take care of one another. Instead of this every man for himself, gladiator style, getting fed to lions bull crap. While DC and the rest of the United States burns and Trump's fiddles. That base, no matter what's reported on, his base is the only thing he's got. And they're loyal. And no matter how many people say the strips, the only way a lot of people left MAGA, many of them have, it's because they end up getting infected personally by a lot of his policies that were so toxic. So, what about me? Trump was always concerned about himself. Once, I wish people would realize this. I support Trump. He's going to be our savior. No, he's not. He's a drifter, and a really good one at that. And he's got his organization with Project 25 backing him, and he's trying to distance himself. But the truth is, if he tries to go back from Project 2025, they're going to eat his ass alive. They're going to dictate to the dictator. And that's exactly what MAGA wants. I'm not too thrilled to talk about this. I wish this was not on my mind. I wish I had some followers. I don't. I periodically come here because I can't talk every day. But the one thing I'll do is I'll comment to you on what things that really interest me. And I'll share it. And like I said, I'm going to come off as a butthole. And I really am a butthole. I'm not going to make any bones about that. So, I'm just going to conclude with this. America, please take responsibility. Protect that right to vote. Fight for it at all costs.